Why does no one play Calypso? Well, the first and most obvious answer would be that she's trash, but she's not. Calypso is actually really good for some of the endgame content such as Gear 3 and the guild boss. So how come the general community thinks so low of her? In this video I'm going to show you guys Calypso's strengths, but also the problems that she faces in the current meta, and additionally some other factors that negatively influence her play rate. For Calypso's low play rate there are many factors that play part into it, and the first factor I want to go over with you guys is one that might be overlooked at first glance but is a major contributor in driving a hero's popularity. Calypso was one of the heroes that was in the game since day one of its global release, and hasn't been a new hero with the 10x banner, and therefore suffered from the same syndrome as Comet did during Vierna's release. And that is that people naturally always get more hyped about a new strong character than existing ones. For example, people were 10 times as hyped to get a Vierna during Vierna's banner than to get a Comet, even though Comet is easily on the same level, if not even stronger than Vierna. But unlike Comet, Calypso wasn't on par with her new counterpart, Silas, and therefore has fallen prey to being the first unit in the game to get power crept. Power creep is a phenomenon that is universally existent in all kinds of video games, and is that new characters of a game will, generally be speaking, always have to be stronger than the existing ones, since if they would be weaker there would be no need for people to spend money on the new characters, since they wouldn't get anything out of it. Lots of gachas like to take this even further and create a problem in the game while simultaneously sell the solution at the same time. This is a thing Genshin Impact likes to do a lot, as they release new content that can only be beaten with, let's say, a strong water DPS, and at the same time they release that exact water type DPS, giving players the solution to their created problem, and giving the player base another reason to try to get their hands on that new legendary unit, making them feel like they need this character, resulting in not only a lot more money for the company, but also it is a way to keep the game fresh and new. Due to that concept, it's only natural that in every game at some point most characters fall off and get beaten out by new ones, and this is what is called power creep, which is exactly what happened to Calypso through the release of Silas. But to know exactly why Silas made Calypso suffer so much, we gotta take a closer look at Calypso's role. As a long-ranged single-target marksman, Calypso specializes in Gear 3 and Guild Boss, and that's exactly where her problem comes into play. Cause sure, these two pieces of content are two of the most important pieces of content in the entire game, which pushes Calypso's value up by a large margin. There is also a downside to it, and that is that there is a lot of competition for her role as a DPS in these respective pieces of content. This being mainly Setram and Silas for the middle lane in Gear 3, and in the guild boss there is even more competition, reaching from other marksmen such as Hex, Silas and Setram, to fighters such as Arrogance, Silitu and Valeria, that are all able to out-DPS her in the guild boss. To see why Calypso gets out-DPS'd and outperformed by her competition, we gotta take a closer look at her kit and the problems that come with it. Calypso's ultimate, Sealstone, makes her stronger with every activation of it, making her only reach her full damage potential in longer fights. This ultimate effect, combined with the fact that her ultimate has a low cost, gives her perfect synergy with the endgame set Soulbound Arcana. But even though you might think that this is perfect, there is also a downside to it, and that is that Calypso only gets 4 Seal Stones, and the Soulbound Arcana set only unleashes its full potential after the 5th ultimate activation, which can only be activated if you have Calypso A5 to get a 5th Seal Stone. And before that she will cap out after her 4th ultimate, limiting the set's value on her. While this consistent DPS ramp up can be an upside for her, it simultaneously is a big downside as well, since it means that she can only unleash her full potential in longer fights, due to her needing time to ramp up. As mentioned earlier, due to the single target nature of her kit, the two pieces of content in which you mainly want to use her are Guild Boss and Gear Raid 3, which makes this ramp up a blessing and a curse at the same time. For Guild Boss it's a great thing, since the fight takes long and she gets a lot of time to ramp up. But for Gear Raid 3, in which she would have less competition, it is suboptimal, since you want to burst down the boss as fast as possible, so you can allocate all of your resources towards the side lanes. Another problem that comes with her kit is that when you take a look at the current meta of the game and its team building, you will soon realize that it is common to use Dolores together with other ultimates at once to get one big burst window and then rinse and repeat this process. Calypso, on the other hand, can't really make any use of that, since her ultimate is auto and doesn't give her a burst window, but more so simply increases her consistent DPS over time. Compare that with a Setram or a Comet ultimate stacked upon a Dolores ultimate. You will be able to see that these two guys will absolutely rinse their opponents during this window, whereas Calypso can't capitalize on the Dolores attack boost oh so well as these other top tier units can. Don't get it twisted though, this doesn't make her a bad unit at all, as for example Ray from the Dragon Slayer community already showed us, using her in Gear Raid 3 stage 21, which already speaks volumes to her strengths. And that's not all. She also gets commonly used by some of the top 100 players on the world leaderboard in the Guild Boss. In conclusion, even though Calypso is a relevant character in the story and has her own trailer with an awesome design, she never really got the love she deserved, due to her having a lot of strong competition in the pieces of content you want to use her in. She does not have the perfect synergy with the Soulbound Arcana set, even though it's basically tailored for her. And then only a few weeks in after the global release, she already became the first victim of power creep. These factors all led us to where we are today, where unfortunately not many players play Calypso anymore. Let me know what you guys think of Calypso in the comments down below. And if you enjoy this type of video, which characters would you like to see next? And of course, I would be happy about a like and subscribe, since this video took a lot of work and effort to get done. Other than that, I hope you all have a blessed day. I'm Ronaldo and I'm out.